Alright, welcome back to Map Gaming. We are continuing the Iron Teeth playthrough at the Iron Cove. So, real quick, while we're in 1 time speed, we got a drought approaching. Hopefully that will help everything out. In the last episode we left, I started to build some other stuff like this and whatnot. We already had that done, but I let the bad water go, which then ended up killing this because obviously it flowed in here because we didn't have this set up. So we're going to let this drain out. These guys can just chill here. We had a 30-day drought, or bad tide, my bad, which kind of depleted our water a little bit. So I've been trying to kind of get that built back up. It's a slow process. We obviously burnt through a lot of wood. We had a lot of trees dying, and obviously if they're not watered, then that presents the next problem. So we didn't run out of food, which was a good thing. We mainly just used up a lot of our wood and all that kind of stuff. That also being said, I have started to build up here to get this kind of isolated to where we can drop it out through here. That's kind of the hope anyway, to get the bad tide to we'll have power coming through here, and then we'll straighten it out kind of right through here, so then we can use these bigger, or at least the idea is to use these bigger, larger power wheels to then kind of come over here, so we're not necessarily using, I'm actually going to pause that, but so then we use the power that comes from these guys over here, because we will always have some sort of constant power coming through here. We just have to get everything kind of set up to where that would work. And last video we did figure out how to do everything we needed, so we are in a better situation as far as that's concerned. So we're going to kick this into 3 times speed so we can, one, watch them kind of build over the river a little bit. It did come back to kind of bite us in the butt a little bit when I did release the bad water in this area. We did lose a few of the plants life here especially, and then obviously over here we lost that mangrove. But because we have this mangrove, we really aren't hurting all that much for food. A mangrove, yep. So we're pretty much maxed out on mangrove fruit, which is, I mean, in all intents and purposes, pretty nice. Excuse me. During this time that I've kind of not necessarily taken a break because I was bored or anything, but like I got sick, so I'm fighting over coming back from that, which not necessarily I got sick, but more my family got sick, so it was kind of just that. And then obviously with the news that happened this week, technically last week, it kind of just jacked me up in a way. So kind of decided to take a little pause for the cause and just kind of reevaluate everything in a sense. So moving on from that, hopefully everybody's having good and productive weeks and haven't been missing me too terribly. Been missing this, but like I said, family comes first, so I've been restructuring some things on that side and all that other stuff, and then kind of getting back into gaming for myself. Not that I don't enjoy this, but I was started playing a lot of FIFA, and obviously my channel isn't built on sports games, and I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that. So I've tried it before. It's kind of one of those difficult things to, at least how I look at it, accomplish. So I try not to worry about that all too much, if that makes any sense. So we're working on power. Obviously, we're having to resupply our wood back to normal functioning standards, and hopefully we'll be able to keep. Dang, I like how big this is. That is a lot of water. Like, that is super deep. I like this. This is looking very nice, if I don't say so myself. Let's make sure that we're still... Oh, we haven't been really worried about the bad tide yet. And that's more because, well, I've been focusing on building in here. One, we were getting this down. Who knows? Anyway, we're getting this kind of put down. We're getting this built, so we had kind of a platform to go from. Okay, yeah, we're at the right level. And yeah, so we'll fill this up, get that going. We'll leave that to it. Hopefully I'll remember. As you can tell, there's still a little bit of remnants of bad water kind of floating around right here. We are in the process of not doing anything with this yet, but that is on the forefront of getting that taken care of. Obviously we need to get... Actually, we don't even need logs. We need metal. We're going to need another 1,000 of that, which I'm not too worried about. The ferry logs, we need about 1,000 more of those. And then gears, I think we're all set on. Gears are the least amount of one, and we're way over the asking part on that. So, obviously, we just kind of need to bounce back from the deficit that we put ourselves in, or I put ourselves in. Obviously we're using metal to set up these platforms over here so we can get some dirt flowing over here. I think this will eventually end up looking pretty nice. I do want to eventually get over here, kind of help destroy some of these trees. Obviously they're focusing on that, which is all fine and dandy. Over here we do have the expert logs being, or the expert whatever, the metal being pulled from, so we're good on that aspect. This is full. Oh my Lanta, look at that. That is full. I don't think we're ever going to have to worry about water ever again. I didn't think I would see, oops. I didn't think we'd ever get this high, but we did that in 3 days. And then, so now we will flow from here. Oh, this is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This was a great build. We could have done it in 2 parts, but, I mean, this will be fine. This will work. And then the next big project, once we finish this over here, I have no doubt that our beavers will then... 20 days. Alright. We got about 5,000 more water to draw up, which I don't think is going to be a problem for these pumps. Just for the simple fact of that's a lot of water. We might want to try, which would be very difficult to do, but also possible, is make an aqueduct that we activate. I'd say put it at the bottom so we're feeding all of this, and then put it at the bottom and then have it come over here. Yeah, because over here we shouldn't have a problem anymore of, as far as like having this area stay hydrated. I don't think we'll have that problem anymore. And yeah, so we're going to build up our wood reservation. I think it's important to actually take care of these and get those situated so that we can then come up here, maybe flatten this to some degree. Because we kind of built over here, and this was like, eventually I was hoping we would have like some sort of farm over here, but that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looked like we went farming this way. And where did we put, okay, so we put this here. Let's destroy that. How do I want to do this? So what I'm thinking is we come up here, make more farmland to give beavers extra jobs to do, because we shouldn't have to worry too much about putting things here. So, how big is this? All right. How would we do this? Where would be the best? We put it up here. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to get these structures going right here. Excuse me, sorry. Like I said. And then that would, there you go. And then let's hit F, and I'll still do that, and then we can use that as a platform, and then everything's in a much better spot. So let's give that a higher priority, because while they're building all of this, we can then come up here and I guess decide what else we need to be growing. I don't think we need a whole lot of other things. Cassavas, maybe. What are those? Those are cassavas. Yeah, I guess just build another cassava farm over here. We got homeless beavers again. Alright, so while they're working on that, we're gonna come over here. And figure out where exactly we're gonna put this. Let's go housing. How do we want to do this? Alright, that holds 8. We can put something like that. Or yeah, we have the signs for it. And then there we go. So that'll give us 16, because I want to say at one point I saw 7. So we'll have these two go up. That'll give us, that should cover any bound back that we get. And then obviously once we get this stuff built, we can then maybe put a hole in that. And figure out what I want to do with this. I don't even know what to do with that. 'Cause that's going to take a minute to get that cleared out and looking somewhat decent. Oh, problems. Well, cassavas all that up. We're almost there. And then like I said, I don't think we'll ever have, sorry. I don't think we'll ever have a water issue. Seriously? It should be flowing out through there. Hold on. Alright, so let's go into build mode. And let's go up. I don't want, ooh, we got it. Alright, let's demolish that. Whoa. I do apologize for that one. That was totally my bad. So 1, 2. We'll go up to 2.6. Let's see how well that. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to overflow just a little bit, so and then it pours into here. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with that for now. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we got the cassavas. Once we get this built, I'm actually going to put these two at higher priority just so that they can actually start going up there and building. Or farming, my bad. And then what we might do is for... You know what? We are going to... cancel all that out. And then we will make this whole thing... If... Seriously... Alright, so all this is going to be cassavas. Then we're going to come over here and make a tree farm of over here. And that should work out just fine. Oh. I forgot. I mean, it didn't go too terribly tall. Seriously. Close that. I mean, it kind of worked. I can't even tell if it worked over here. But I think it worked out just fine. Which would then provide power. If that does work, then we are providing power. The only issue is when we look at these tanks, they get overflown. And then, oh, we're dealing with sick beavers. So yeah, that's another thing that we're going to have to kind of look into. We might have to restructure a few things over here. Just so we're able to actually not contribute to making our beavers sick. Oh man, the problems of problems of problems. But now they should be able to flow in there without that problem. And I mean, we got 50 beavers, so when they go down sick, it's not like we don't have people to, or beavers to take their roles and finish what they started. What if... Because this is the dam. So instead of the flow valves, we replace it with sluices. So we're going to go down a little bit because I want to see... Yeah, that should work out just fine. And, I mean, we should have... Alright, let's... No. Delete those. And then let's go in, get the sluices. And then set those at the highest priority. And then, yeah, obviously beavers can't walk over, but we shouldn't have a problem fixing that. Hopefully the beavers will be like, oh, we want to rescue our brethren. But this will fill up. Dude, seriously apologize. For the coughing. It's one of those things. It's just gonna happen. Alright, so we do that. That'll work. Are both of these lined up? Yep, 2.6. And then at that point, then we shouldn't have a problem with all this water staying where it needs to be. And then we could probably relax a little bit on the water being pumped out over here. Obviously, I gotta wait for all this crud to go away. How's that looking? That might take a minute. Thought about putting a pump over here to pump it out, but then I'm like, man, that just wastes a whole bunch of resources. And that's not really what we got going on here. We don't really have a whole lot of resources. I mean, we got a whole lot of food resources, but like... other things, not so much. Let's get our beavers' homes, whatever, placed as a priority. Alright, so we got that built. We're starting to look a lot better over here. I do like the way that that's actually coming together. That's looking very smooth for us. The only problem is we're going to have water problems. Now, how to fix said water problems. We could basically make a pathway through here. It's not like we need it. They'll get done building that, and then what we'll do is we'll go down to level, and I'll build because what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to come in through here and make all of this the same level as this, so then it flows. And we don't necessarily need it to flow out the ports, but I mean, we got all of this water that we pretty much haven't really touched. So basically have this come in, flow through here. Maybe just get rid of this all entirely. I was thinking about doing something with it, but at this current point in time, like, not that water is the most important thing, but just to kind of keep everything hydrated during a bad tide, that might not be a bad way to go. And I'm not too worried about keeping the power going because, I mean, at the start of this video, we had like 20 things of wood, maybe 5. And you can kind of see how we're in a different ballpark now. So wood isn't necessarily, we've used a lot of it, don't get me wrong. Look at this thing, like that's a master build right there. And we have this whole thing being filled up. So it's not like we haven't used it, but that being also said, we can get, yeah, I'm liking that idea. That'll be a lot of TNT, but I think overall that'll come out fairly nicely. And then if we need to, we can do something like this again, where it just kind of whatever. Because yeah, now that we have that huge this thing, I don't think we'll ever really have a problem with water again, even with our beaver numbers being as high as they are. The only water I feel like we'll ever have an issue with is, why isn't that open? That's probably why. Because we're pumping out all this contamination water. That would make sense. Alright, well, we gotta get rid of it somehow, and at this point, our beavers are fine. So we'll fill this back up. That shouldn't be an issue, but yes, this is going to be an issue if we're going to keep guarding over here. So once this gets knocked out, we can then, I'm going to put this as top priority, and then we're going to come over here and I'm going to make this secondary priority. Because then the goal is to then, yep. And then we'll also build down. I think right here would be important. And then we'll path that out. I hate when the paths look like that, but what can you do? Sorry, I had to sneeze and cough and all kinds of junk was going on. Alright, I need to see. Alright, I guess the best way to do this is this way. So this is one level down below. Oops. This is one. And we have 2 blocks. So this all needs to go down 2. We can do that. Alright. Holes 2. Massive amounts of TNT here. We like it when things go boom. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna basically this basin. Because I think what we're also going to end up doing is I'm going to build up here as well. Or keep building. Kind of like this pontoon thing that we got going on. So I'm going to leave this edge the way it is. And then what I want to do is we're going to build another wall. I think a wall would be excellent, like coming across right here. So we're just going to go 3 and 3. And then obviously, and the reason why I'm doing this side first, I can't get rid of the trees. Whatever. Alright, so talk you through this process real quick. Not that you can't grasp it, but okay, so what we're going to do is this is going to be the initial wall right here. Yeah, this is going to be the initial wall. And so if I knock everything over this way first before we detonate everything this way, then the wall will be fixed, built, and to the level of us what we like it at. That also being said, I want, we'll put that as a secondary thing. But yeah, so the idea is to then, yeah, I've explained that good enough. We will get, oh, I don't need you. And then let's get in here. Get rid of all that as well. And because beethoovers love pathways, we will come in here. Oops. That's really not what I wanted to do, but beggars can't be choosers. Alright. That should work. They should be able to get to that. This is pretty much done. Once we get someone to build that, then we need to come down here, path this out so beavers are able to do what they need to do down here. And yeah. Make sure we get all corners. Don't want them having issues reaching a position. Wow, we are really having some issues saving right now. Alright, there we go. Dang, these beavers are on point. Alright, so back to digging a hole. I'll let it stand. Alright, so we got that going, we got that, I like that, it looks good. Moving forward. 9 days, max water. Wish I could do something about that. Auto. And auto. And I've been trying to do something with the coffee, but at the same time, we're pretty much, I mean, this is one of our new vegetables, as it were, and we're pretty much maxed out. So we're not maxed out on what we have in reservation, but I mean, in all intents and purposes, we're maxed out. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. We have enough dirt. How are we doing on the whole? we still got some digging to do. Still have plenty of water. And now we just need TNT. I think that pretty much sums up. If you have any ideas that doesn't involve a pump on getting this stuff out, let me know. Because the only idea that I pretty much have is coming right here and destroying that piece and letting the water flow out, and then, you know what, let's do it. Because at this point, just get it gone. Yeah, get it gone, and then once that's gone, then we can re-worry about all of this. And then I paused these obviously because I didn't want the beavers coming in there and dying. Because you can't have beavers dying. That's just, it doesn't bode well for people. Alright, so we got that going. Obviously, these are dying. Still have full water over here. All the trees are growing, which is going to end up working out beautifully for us. Really wish. Is it because there's no pathway on the top? I really... Yep, that's probably it. That would probably be the problem. Alright, let's see that go. Alright, we'll fix... This should be fixed in a couple of cycles. We shouldn't really have a problem with that anymore. How are we doing on power? Apply 56. Alright, so... Probably means we can play this. Apply 56, demand, yep. Looking good. Well, we don't have anyone here, so might as well. I prioritize that. That'll give someone else a job to do, and then we can cut down some of these. We can also put one over here. And then they can cut those down, which will hopefully by the time this ends, we'll have this whole thing done. And then this dude can come in. Actually, we can then play these, and then they can come in and... Actually, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? I don't know. It's looking alright. A little questionable with some of the water, but beggars can't be choosers. We'll actually play you. We'll play all of you guys. So then all three of you are pumping. We have a beaver in there working. Now this will become green. We have two beavers in there working, actually. You can come in there once all the water's filled up. And I think that'll work out nicely. And there we go. So almost by the time that this is done, then we should have no problem with this mangrove spot being back. Like it. I'm gonna actually uncheck these for right now, just because we're actually collecting the wood. I don't think it's a lot. It's 2. Not terribly a whole lot, but I mean, it's enough to get going. I need 1 spot of TNT placed right there. And that was the problem. I was wondering why they weren't building this for the longest period of time, and it was because of a stupid road. Man. Alright, well, now that we got that taken care of and we're well on our way to being built of that, let's go down beneath to make sure that we still have bad water worth pumping. Turn this beyond for a second. Alright, we filled that back up. Yeah, I cut away because I didn't want that. That's boring. We know what we're doing there. We're filling water up, or filling bad sludge up. So then we can pump some bad sludge over here, put some bad sludge over here. Make sure that we're getting, ooh, fairy logs looking a little low. But that is eventually our hope. Once water situation is, dealt with, we are then going to actually start focusing on other areas of concern. One being, we're going to heavily start looking into process, because I've been talking about it long enough. I might do another video where I make sure I get this all taken care of, but we're probably going to start cutting this away, making sure that this is then taken care of and opened up and all the other stuff, and then start making a pipeline that will then transfer power from our power wheels over here to over here. I didn't want to do gravity batteries this time just because to me it didn't make a whole lot of sense, especially with the beavers being having engines and us obviously not really having a wood problem. I want to detonate those. One, two, so we're about right here. So that should be 1s, right? That sounds mathin'. So we'll do 3s all up here. And then we'll have to do additional 1s, but everything right here should be knocked down to this row, and then those are 2s. Alright, yeah. Alright, yep. And then once we get all this knocked out, then we'll be able to put the sluices in and all the other stuff because it's facing this way, knock this thing down, and then we'll have free-flowing river flowing from over here through here, and it'll be beautiful. And then we can obviously turn it off, shut it off, whatever, and then not have to worry about that. And then at the top, I think I will end up putting the dam pieces, just in case. You never know. But yeah, that's all looking fairly nice. A lot of dead over here, unfortunately. That tends to happen. Especially as we get closer to the end of this cycle. And look, I think it's 4 episodes and we are finally about to be done. Oh, hold on. There we go. How's the tree? I mean, once we get rid of this path, pretty much we'll cover the whole thing. Do I want to? That is the question. I'm gonna ponder that. We can actually start building out more over here. Because I'm at this point, I'm like, you know what, let's make it our own. We've obviously done that. We've kind of changed the map around a little bit. We're starting to kind of demolish things, add things, take away things and whatnot. And it would, I guess, kind of be nice to then make this giant semicircle right here and have pretty much just a tree farm above it. I think that that'd look pretty cool. Need to fine-tune a little bit the ideas just based on right here. We'd have to have a platform going across here and then a lower platform to start shooting out across here, and then getting everything to kind of line up so it's not all jagged. Because let's be honest, no one really likes a jagged cross, like a jagged, you know, when it's all jacked up. And we have started building the wonder, the huge wonder itself, which is very exciting. That'll obviously take some time. I'm really in no rush to do that. I have obviously ideas and things that I want to get accomplished before we go. It is done. But for that time being, we still have things that, like I said, need to be taken care of. Pause. We can pause all of you. That's my bad. And then we can come in here, because what they're going to do is they're going to try to chop down all of these trees, and obviously that's a no bueno. But now we have mangrove back. Probably should have done that from the beginning, is just straight up changed everything, or like took out the block to, like, you know, you get what I'm saying. You make sure those trees go the way of the dodo. Can change these over. I just need those 3 trees fixed and appropriated so that we can take care of that. These trees obviously haven't grown in yet. What else? Next video, we're probably going to jump forward quite a bit. We're almost done with this, which is nice. I mean, it's hard to get done with this just because we have so many people, you know, mining, and they're obviously gathering a great deal of scrap metal. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm going, not yet. We're going to wait for the wire to flow back, but I'm going to cut away for the 1 day, just to make it easier on everybody. So 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Day's gone. A little more than a day. Alright, so I started mainly focusing on this, doing some quick calculations. We're putting 2 here. This is above 1, so there you go. This is now level. Once they finish this, then we're going to I'm going to start building the wall, or the dam pieces for this fixture. You can see this is starting to flow, which will get this bad water out of here. We're already starting to reach down over there. Obviously, we're waiting on some of the finer features to come in for this one. But as of right now, we are looking pretty squared away. So we'll get those destroyed. Everything looks to be at level, so now we can come in and start building our whatchamacallit, our dam. We'll destroy that one. Anyway, so we're gonna start to I'm gonna off screen, I'll start constructing that so we can get that set up. We are filling back up over here just to kind of show that point. So we are doing a nice job of that. Obviously have water coming in here, starting to slowly fill up over here. Once again, same thing. And all this is going to come back green. And yeah, hopefully next episode, this will all be at least gone, and then we'll be in the construction phase of getting this all set up. So hit that thumbs up, that like, follow, all that fun jazz. Leave a comment, I do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Later.